You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Do you ever get credit card offers in the mail? Those are usually the worst offers. The people who actually read their junk mail end up paying the price in the long run. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a credit card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it.
Give yourself a little credit.
Get a better credit card.
Switch to bettercreditcards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. It is the first Thursday of the year. That means this Sunday is the first Sunday of the month. And we've got Sue Peters joining us with the American Legion to talk about a pancake breakfast coming up this Sunday.
Good morning, John. Yes, the first Sunday of every month. So just mark your calendars so it pops up on your phone that the first Sunday of every month at the Alliance from 8:30 until noon. And this is the Sioux Falls American Legion post-15 pancake breakfast.
And let's talk about what people get, because when they come there, they make a nice donation to the American Legion, but the money goes to some good things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what do they get for their money? What kind of food do you have on this pancake breakfast? I'm guessing pancakes, but more too, right?
Oh my gosh. And people tell us they're the best pancakes in town.
They're very good. I agree with that.
Thank you. Eggs, sausage, juice, and coffee.
And what is the investment to get my belly filled with all that yummy food?
Yeah, that's pretty simple too. It's $8 for adults, and that's for 11 and older. 10 and under is $2.
And the nice thing is, if you'd like to, you can make a donation of more than that. So if you just hand them like a 20 and say, keep the change, that's good too, right?
Oh, you certainly can. There's a donation jar. We do take credit cards. So we tried to make it very simple for people. And people in Sioux Falls and the surrounding area are very generous to veterans.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite things, we've got a friend that every time I post this on Facebook and say, hey, that's coming up this Sunday, he'll reach out to me and say, we doing Pancake Sunday? And more often than not, the answer is yes, because they are very good pancakes. And it's a great organization. And it's just, you guys make it so simple and so easy. It's like you've done this before.
Oh, just for a few years.
And what time does everything get started this Sunday, and what time do things wrap up?
We serve from 8:30 to noon.
8:30 until noon. It's this Sunday and the first Sunday of every month. So get out and join us. Again, the first Sunday of every month. It's at the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance building. And again, there's parking right there, tons of parking. Bring friends, come have fun. And there's typically a bake sale connected to this as well, right?
Oh, gosh, John, I almost forgot about that. The auxiliary has a bake sale with every pancake breakfast, and we have some of the most amazing bakers. There are things that people put their name down and reserve them for the following month.
Oh, yeah.
Come and pick up your sweet treat.
Absolutely. This is so good, and it's some of the best stuff when you go in there. Keep in mind, the people that are baking these treats, they're not learning how to do this stuff. They're not watching some video online to do it. They've been doing this for a while. They've got it down. It's perfected. And again, I can understand why some people would say, put me down for these cookies every month. I'll take them every month.
Yeah, we have pies. We have angel food cake from scratch. It's amazing.
It is very, very good. If somebody would like to come out again, it's this Sunday. And let's talk about what time it starts and what time it ends once again.
8:30 until noon.
And again, it's this Sunday and the first Sunday of every month. It's at the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance on Russell in Sioux Falls. And Sue, thank you so much for doing what you do, and thank you for taking the time to chat with me about it today.
Thank you, John. The Legion loves it when you help us spread the news.
And we're always happy to do it as well. Again, it's coming up this Sunday. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Coming up here in just a moment, I'm going to be visiting with Jenni Lou Russi. She is a comedian from North Dakota. I've seen her before. Very, very funny lady. She's going to be here. It's not next week. It's the following week. Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Going to chat with her all about that coming up.
Invite your friends and family over to make memories with a fun game night. VerySpecialGames.com has 5 fun games that will help everyone have a blast. Games like Ransom Notes, the ridiculous word magnet game, Abduction, a weirdly strategic game of duck kidnapping, Vins with Benefits, the hilarious Venn diagram game, Puns of Anarchy, the outrageous pun-making game, and Charty Party, the game of absurdly funny charts. Find these fun games and more at VerySpecialGames.com. That's VerySpecialGames.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit with a very funny stand-up comic, Jenni Lou Russi. She'll be at Snow Jam Comedy Festival coming your way real soon here, January 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Jenni, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well.
I'm excited to have you back in Sioux Falls. You've been to Snow Jam in the past, haven't you?
I actually am so excited to get to be here for the final Snow Jam.
And
I was very disappointed, but totally understand. Man, it's so hard to keep a festival going, especially when you're working comedians.
oh, yeah.
So they have done a bang-up job, and so I'm so glad that I get to be a part of the last one.
And I've met you in the past at some of the other events that we've had a chance to see you at here. How many times have you been to Sioux Falls for Snow Jam?
Let's see. I've only been at 2 of the festivals. I helped from a distance for one. I volunteered with, I teach PR, and my PR class helped with some promotion work for one festival that I wasn't a part of as a comedian. And then one year I was accepted and I got COVID.
Aww.
So, yes. So I've been a part of, as a comic, I have been a part of 2 Snow Jam festivals, and so this will be my 3rd.
Well, we're excited to have you back. And for those of the folks that haven't had a chance to see you, you're a very, very funny comic. And from North Dakota, is that right?
I currently reside in North Dakota. I will never claim to be from North Dakota.
There you go. Well, but you're used to the cold, I guess, is where I'm coming from here.
Oh, my stars. I am a winter climate person. I grew up in Anchorage, and then I returned to Anchorage as an adult. I went to undergrad near Chicago, so right there where the lakefront and all that. I'm used to winter, and then I taught at Western State College of Colorado, which was and still is at 8,000 feet. They didn't move it. Rocky Mountains, and all those winters were brutal. I used to, years ago, I was a weather person in Alaska, and every night we'd have to report the cold temperature for the country in the lower 48.
Yeah.
And I have lived at every one of the most frequent places I would mention as the cold spot for the country in the continental U.S.
Wow.
So I know what I was getting myself into, and yet I did it.
Well, we're excited to have you come and join us here. Again, Snow Jam Comedy Festival, like we mentioned, it's the final edition of the Snow Jam Comedy Festival. And this year, raising money for Dakota Academy of Performing Arts, DAPA. And I love the fact that we've got a bunch of very funny performing artists that are coming to town to help us raise money for the next generation of performing artists. I just think that's really cool.
That is. And I want to mention 2 things. One, the people who put this together, Timmy Williams, Nate Holtz, I'm forgetting some names here, Dan Bublitz, of course, Luke Johnson, Zach Dresch, the guys who put this together. And there are some women involved. I'm sorry, I've forgotten their names. And it's not because they're women, because I'm a woman who supports women. But those are the guys that I've worked with on the road. And so I've gotten to know them. I've had a chance to get to know them. And pairing up with a charity is something that these guys just do.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited whenever I can be a part of it, because I support the organizations that this festival has helped. And then I also I wanted to mention. There was something else that you mentioned there. You mentioned that it was the last one, and it's down.
Dakota Academy of Performing Arts is who the nonprofit is this year. So even though it's our final year for this event, we're kind of passing the torch to the next generation, which I think is really cool.
I hope that somebody picks up that torch and runs with it. I think that they have a great infrastructure, and the community really buys into it. Something that I really liked last year, as we would go to different businesses for the hotel. I went to a hotel that was not the hotel that sponsors it, but a different hotel.
Yeah.
Because I travel with my dog, and she can only stay at certain hotels.
Oh yeah.
And so when we checked in, they knew about the festival, and then at just about every restaurant we went to, just by chance, we would go to different restaurants, and they had posters up, and they would recognize our badges, and they would say, "Oh, you're here with the festival. That's awesome."
Yeah.
So the community really supports it, and I think that whoever picks up this torch then will benefit, and it'll be cyclical. You know, it just it supports one another. I think that the comics who support it. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention.
Okay.
You mentioned that there are very funny comics.
Oh, yeah.
That is another reason why I do this. The networking.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when a comedian does this, like I mentioned, you know, I stay with my dog. And so my dog and I pay for our own hotel. So we're out that. We also, you know, there's the expense of travel. And some people come from New York. They come from California. They come from Florida. They come from all over the country. And they do so at their own expense. And here's what it gives us. It gives us an opportunity to network with comedians with whom we would not otherwise work. And I have met some awesome comics. And then when I go around to other comedy communities, I get to see these people again.
Yeah.
And I was privy to a conversation. I was in the Alaska Before You Die festival up in Anchorage. And one of the comics asked another comic, which is one festival? What one festival should I absolutely apply to? And I was so pleased when that comedian said, Snow Jam in South Dakota. I know it's Snow Jam. I know it's in South Dakota. I know it's cold. But they said those guys organized it well.
Yeah.
It was the best run festival that comedian had ever been to.
I love it.
And I thought, oh, I did too. I thought, you know, those guys are my friends. So, of course, I'm like, yeah. But it's so good to hear that from somebody who totally, I don't even know if that comedian even knows the comics who put it together, but benefited from it.
I love that. Well, I'm excited to see you at Snow Jam. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it a bunch.
Thank you. So nice to chat with you again. And I get to see you in just a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Again, Jenni Lou Rusi, one of the very funny comics that we're going to get to see at Snow Jam Comedy Festival, January 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You can get all of the information at snowjamcomedyfest.com, SNOJAM, snowjamcomedyfest.com.
If your plan for the new year involves getting your financial life in order, I suggest you start with your mobile phone bill. How much do you pay every month? If that number is more than $15, it's time for Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying. Learn more now at Mintervention.com.
This Day in Sioux Falls History is brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, January 4th, 1888, a second explosion at the gas house of the Sioux Falls Gas Company literally blew the roof off of natural gas streetlights in Sioux Falls. Like many things in a progressive city, what started as a competition ended with a bang in Sioux Falls when the Sioux Falls Gas Company and the Electric Light Company put in competing bids to light up the city streets. A compromise was made to award each company a portion of the city streets to light. On October 6, 1887, the very day that the Sioux Falls Gas Company began operations at 7 p.m., an explosion was heard. Glass was shattered in windows reaching from business to business along Phillips Avenue to homes more than a quarter mile away. A couple of fellas driving a cart near the building were blown out of their carriage nearly 50 feet off the road. And local resident Mr. Barrett, who was nearby at the time passing the 10th Street Bridge, had multiple broken bones after being thrown from the blast. Residents as far away as Baltic reported hearing the blast. In spite of all of this, repairs were made and the company began operations again just 2 days later. Then, on the morning of January 4th, 1888, just over 2 months after the first blast, a smaller explosion echoed through town at about 5:30 p.m. This time, the damage was not as serious. The gas roof house was blown in the air. The walls were blown out and close-by buildings were shaken. But after that second blast, the company was sold to outside investors. But gas was not not completely abandoned in Sioux Falls, though citizens would not learn to trust it for many years to come. Perhaps it was these two explosions, and a third one nearly a decade later, that inspired Sioux Falls to be one of the first cities in the Midwest to have their streets lit almost exclusively by electric power. This day in Sioux Falls history has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3.
Invite your friends and family over to make memories with a fun game night. VerySpecialGames.com has 5 fun games that will help everyone have a blast. Games like Ransom Notes, the ridiculous word magnet game, Abduction, a weirdly strategic game of duck kidnapping, Vins with Benefits, the hilarious Venn diagram game, Puns of Anarchy, the outrageous pun-making game, and Charty Party, the game of absurdly funny charts. Find these fun games and more at VerySpecialGames.com. That's VerySpecialGames.com.